My son looked me directly in the eye across the dinner table and stated, "We're selling your house to pay for your care." Just like that. There was no discussion or inquiry. It was merely an announcement. My name is Claire, and I am 72 years old. I invite you to share your location in the comments, as what I am about to recount occurred right here in Sacramento, California. It illustrates that sometimes the quietest response can be the most powerful. That evening, Derek, my son, had brought his wife Jennifer over for what I believed to be a regular Sunday dinner. I prepared pot roast, his favorite since he was 8 years old, and set the table with my fine china, the set my late husband Tom gifted me for our 25th anniversary. We were midway through the meal when Derek cleared his throat in that manner he does when he is about to say something significant. Jennifer set down her fork and folded her hands, and I sensed that something was coming. Derek began, "Jennifer and I have been discussing this. You're getting older, and this house is too much for you." I took a sip of water and waited. "We believe it's time to consider assisted living," Jennifer added, her voice laced with insincere concern. "Somewhere you'd be safe and well taken care of." Having been a nurse for 43 years, I was acutely aware of what assisted living entailed and its associated costs. I also knew that my house, the one Tom and I purchased in 1978, was now valued at $1.2 million. "I'm not naive," I replied. "We have already explored a few options," Derek continued. "There's a nice facility about 30 minutes away. It's only $6,000 a month." "Only $6,000 a month? And how exactly do you propose I cover this expense?" I inquired quietly. That's when he said it. My own son, the boy I had raised and the man I had put through college, looked at me and declared, "We're selling your house to pay for your care." Not, "We'd like to discuss options," or "What do you think?" He emphasized "your care," as if I were a burden he was reluctantly shouldering. Jennifer nodded in agreement, as if this was entirely reasonable. I scrutinized both of them. Derek in his expensive suit, which I had helped him purchase for his first job interview 15 years ago, and Jennifer with her designer handbag resting on my floor, likely worth more than my monthly grocery budget. I set down my napkin and folded it carefully. "I see," I said. "We can list it next week," Derek insisted. "The market is hot right now. We could have you moved within a month." He kept saying "we" as if he owned my house or my life. "And where would I go while the house is being sold?" I asked. "You could stay with us temporarily," Jennifer suggested, though her tone implied she hoped I would not. I nodded slowly. "Let me think about it." Derek smiled, clearly believing he had triumphed. "Great. We'll bring the realtor by on Wednesday." They departed 20 minutes later. I watched Derek's BMW pull out of my driveway, then sat in my living room in the dark for exactly 10 minutes, neither crying nor panicking, but contemplating. You see, I had not disclosed everything about my life to Derek. There were significant details he was unaware of. The following morning, I called my attorney, Robert Chen. We had attended high school together many years ago, and he had managed Tom's estate after my husband's passing. "Robert," I said when he answered, "I need to see you today. It's urgent." "Claire, is everything okay?" he asked. "My son wants to sell my house out from under me and put me in a home." There was a pause. "I will rearrange my schedule. Can you be here at 2?" I arrived at 1:30. Robert's office had the comforting scent of old books and coffee. He listened attentively as I recounted everything: the dinner, Derek's announcement, the timeline they had established without my input. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair. "Claire, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Do you want to move into assisted living?" "No." "Do you need assisted living?" "Absolutely not. I still drive. I work part-time at the clinic. I garden. I am on the neighborhood watch committee, for heaven's sake." He nodded. "Then here's what we will do." For the next hour, Robert outlined a plan that was beautifully simple. "The house is solely in your name," he reminded me. "Tom left everything to you. Derek has no legal claim to it." I was aware of this. "So when he arrives with the realtor on Wednesday, he will be in for a surprise." Robert produced some documents. "But first, I need to ask you something. Do you remember Marcus, Sophia, and James?" My heart tightened. Of course, I remembered them. 30 years ago, when I was in my early 40s and Derek was in college, Tom and I had become foster parents. We had always desired more children, but after Derek, it simply did not happen for us. So we opened our home. Marcus arrived at 14, angry at the world and failed by every adult who was supposed to protect him. Sophia came at 13, so quiet that one could forget she was present. James was 16, already aging out of the system, convinced that no one would ever want him. They lived with us for years. We supported them through high school and celebrated their graduations. Tom taught Marcus how to drive, and I assisted Sophia in applying to colleges. James was the first to call me Mom, and it brought me to tears for an hour. "What about them?" I asked Robert. "They contacted me last week," he said. "They attempted to reach you, but you changed your cell number after receiving all those scam calls. Remember? I had changed it 6 months ago after receiving my third call regarding my car's extended warranty. They are in town," Robert continued. "And Claire, they wish to see you. They have something to discuss." "What kind of something?" I inquired. Robert smiled. "The kind that will make Wednesday very interesting." That evening, I sat in Robert's conference room, waiting. My hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from anticipation. I had not seen my foster children in nearly 5 years, not since James's wedding in Boston. The door opened, and there they were. Marcus entered first, and I had to remind myself that he was 44 now, not that angry 14-year-old who had shown up at my door with a garbage bag of clothes and eyes that trusted no one. He wore a tailored suit with gray threading at his temples. "Claire," he said, his voice cracking just as it used to when he was trying not to cry. Sophia followed, elegant in a manner that took my breath away. She had been so small and fearful, yet now she commanded the room. James brought up the rear, grinning that same mischievous grin I remembered, now framed by laugh lines and confidence. They did not ask permission. They simply hugged me, all three of them. For a moment, I was back in my kitchen 30 years ago, making breakfast for 4, feeling as if my heart might burst from joy. "Sit, sit," Robert said gently. "We have much to discuss." Once settled, Marcus spoke first. "Claire, Robert informed us of Derek's intentions. It's nothing I can't handle," I began, but Sophia interjected. "No," she said firmly. "You should not face this alone. You never allowed us to face challenges by ourselves." James leaned forward. "Do you recall what you told me the night I graduated high school? I was terrified about attending community college and making it on my own." I remembered. I had found him on the back porch, silently crying. "I told you that family isn't defined by blood, but by those who show up." "Exactly," James affirmed. "So we're showing up." Marcus opened a folder. "Claire, I need to share what we have been doing for the past 20 years. You know I entered the tech industry after college." I nodded, recalling that he had started as a programmer at a startup. "That startup was acquired by Google in 2008, he continued. "My stock options were substantial. I used that money to establish my own company, developing cybersecurity software for healthcare systems." I stared at him, astonished. "I sold that company 3 years ago," Marcus said quietly, "for $800 million. The room spun slightly. Sophia picked up the narrative. "You helped me gain admission to Berkeley, remember? You paid for my application fees when I couldn't afford them. I studied architecture and began designing community centers. Last year, my firm was contracted to design the new terminal at San Francisco International Airport. And I," James added, "enrolled in that cooking class you encouraged me to take to improve my diet. It turns out I excelled at it. I now own 16 restaurants along the East Coast." I was speechless. "We have all achieved success," Marcus said, "because you provided us a foundation. You offered us love when we had nothing. And now," Sophia concluded, "we aim to give something back to you." Marcus slid a document across the table. "This is a deed to a property in Granite Bay, about 20 minutes from here, 6,000 square feet on 2 acres, complete with a guest house and pool." "I don't understand," I whispered. "We purchased it together." "Not," James explained. "The 3 of us. We intended to surprise you next month for your birthday, but when Robert informed us of Derek's plan, we expedited the timeline. We want you to reside there," Sophia insisted. "Rent-free, indefinitely. There is a fully furnished guest suite that is yours, or you may choose the master. We do not mind. You are family, Claire. Real family." My throat tightened. I cannot possibly accept this. You can, Marcus interrupted gently. And you will, because here is what will happen on Wednesday. Derek will arrive at your house with his realtor, but he will not find you there. Robert produced more documents. These are moving company contracts. They are coming tomorrow morning, Tuesday. Everything you wish to keep, furniture, photos, personal items, they will pack up and relocate to Granite Bay. But my house, your house, Robert asserted, is yours to handle as you see fit. We could sell it and the proceeds would belong to you. Alternatively, he paused, we have another option. Sophia leaned in. There is a nonprofit organization I work with that provides transitional housing for women escaping domestic violence. They are actively seeking properties they can convert into safe houses. You could donate it, Marcus added. You would receive a substantial tax deduction, and your home, the one where you provided us safety, would continue to offer safety to others in need. The poignancy of it struck me. My home would continue to be a home. Tom would have loved that, I said, my voice thick with emotion. We know, James said softly. Robert slid a pen across the table. So here's what I need from you, Claire. Tomorrow, sign these documents. Allow us to move you. Let us care for you the way you cared for us. I looked at these three individuals, my children, because that is what they were, and thought about Derek, my biological son, who viewed me as an asset to be liquidated, versus these three, who saw me as the mother who had rescued them. What about Derek? I asked. When he arrives on Wednesday? Let him, Marcus said, his voice firm. Let him come. Let him walk in with his realtor and his plans. We will be there too. All of us, Sophia confirmed. With our attorney, James added, gesturing to Robert. It's all perfectly legal, Robert assured me. You are moving of your own volition to your family's home. Derek cannot stop you. He has no claim to anything. When he realizes what he has lost, not just the house, but you, perhaps he will learn something. I picked up the pen. Where do I sign? Marcus smiled, reminiscent of the first time I had seen him genuinely smile, about 6 months into his time with us. Tuesday morning arrived with the kind of golden California sunlight that makes everything feel possible. The moving truck arrived at 8 a.m. sharp, accompanied by Marcus, Sophia, and James. I had spent the previous night sorting through my belongings, determining what mattered most. The photo albums, definitely Tom's watch collection, my grandmother's quilt, and even the whimsical ceramic frog Derek had made for me in 3rd grade. Yes, even that, for I'm still his mother, even if he had forgotten I was a person. This one? Sophia asked, pointing to Tom's reading chair. Yes, he spent 20 years in that chair reading mysteries. She labeled it carefully and tenderly, as if it mattered. We worked through the morning, sharing our stories. Real stories, the kind you tell over moving boxes and coffee. Marcus spoke of his daughter. I had a granddaughter I had never met, a 7-year-old named Claire, who apparently asked about me constantly. I have been afraid, he confessed. Afraid you would think I abandoned you when I became successful. Afraid you would believe I forgot. Never, I replied firmly. Sophia shared photographs from her wedding. She had married 2 years prior to another architect, a woman named Rachel. I wanted to invite you, but I lost track of you after you changed numbers, and I was concerned you might not approve. I took her hands. Sophia, my dear, all I want is for you to be happy. She cried then, as did I. James, it turned out, had named his flagship restaurant Claire's Table. It's fine dining, he explained, but the concept is that everyone should feel welcome, like sitting at your dinner table where it doesn't matter if you are foster, biological, rich, or poor. You belong. When did you open it? I inquired. 8 years ago. You came to the opening, remember? I did. I recalled feeling so proud and overwhelmed. I just had not realized it was named for me. The sign had been elegantly scripted, and I had thought it conveyed something else. It has been the most successful one, James stated, because people can feel it. You know the love that resides within the walls. By 2 p.m., the truck was packed. The movers had wrapped and loaded a lifetime of memories, and the house echoed with emptiness around us. I walked through one last time, the living room where Derek took his first steps, the kitchen where I had taught Sophia to make pie crust, the back bedroom where Marcus had stayed up all night studying for his SATs. Ready? Robert asked from the doorway. Was I? This house had been my life for 47 years. Tom and I had chosen it together, debated paint colors, planted the garden. Derek had grown up here, but Derek wanted to take it from me, while these three wanted to provide me with a home. I am ready, I replied. We locked the door, leaving the key under the mat for Derek to find when he arrived the following day. Let him walk into empty rooms and comprehend what he had done. The convoy departed from my house at 2:30. Marcus's Tesla, Sophia's Range Rover, and James's vintage Mustang. I rode with Marcus. The house in Granite Bay took my breath away. It sat on a gentle hill, surrounded by oak trees and manicured gardens, modern yet warm, with expansive windows that flooded the space with light. The guest suite is on the east side, Marcus said as we pulled up. Morning sun, private entrance, full kitchen if you desire it. But honestly, as Sophia added, we hope you will choose the master. The view is incredible. They guided me through the property. The master bedroom featured French doors that opened onto a terrace overlooking the grounds. A garden had already been planted, roses, tomatoes, and herbs. James had that installed, Sophia whispered. He remembered you enjoy gardening. In the bathroom, someone had stocked my favorite lavender soap, the brand I had used for 30 years. Marcus, I said, pointing. He shrugged, attempting to appear casual. I remembered. The movers arrived an hour later, and we spent the evening unpacking. Well, they unpacked, I mostly directed, overwhelmed by the care they took with everything. Tom's chair was placed by the fireplace in the main living room, and my photo albums filled a built-in bookshelf. Sophia hung my grandmother's quilt on the wall in the master bedroom as if it were fine art. It is fine art, she insisted when I protested. Do you know how rare hand-stitching like this is? We ordered Chinese food for dinner from one of James's restaurants. Naturally, we gathered around a table that comfortably accommodated all of us, and it felt right, like family. Tomorrow, Marcus said as we ate, Derek will arrive at your old house around 10 a.m. Robert confirmed this with the realtor. And we will be there, Sophia added, all of us. You do not have to, I began. Yes, James interrupted. We do. You stood up to school principals for me when I encountered trouble. You confronted Marcus's social worker when she sought to move him. You advocated for Sophia with that scholarship committee. Now it is our turn, Marcus concluded. That night in my new bedroom, I lay in bed reflecting on the peculiar paths life takes. I had married Tom Young, had Derek, and lived what I believed to be a simple, ordinary life. I became a nurse, helped people, and fostered children because we had extra rooms and extra love. I never anticipated that those children would become millionaires. That was never the point. The point was that they needed a home, and we had one to offer. Yet now, when I required a home, they were providing one back to me. I thought about Derek, my biological son, and how he had regarded me across that dinner table, calculating my worth in dollar signs and square footage, easily deciding to discard me. I thought of Marcus, Sophia, and James, who had spent 20 years building their lives and had never forgotten the woman who believed in them. If you are watching this and have ever questioned whether kindness matters, whether showing up for someone makes a difference, this is your answer. It does. It returns. Sometimes it returns in ways you never anticipated. Wednesday morning, I awoke in my new home to the aroma of coffee, real coffee, the expensive kind. I found James in the kitchen preparing breakfast. I couldn't sleep, he admitted. I was too excited about today. Excited? He grinned. Claire, your son has treated you like a burden. Today he will discover you are a queen, and we are your royal guard. Yes, I was excited. Marcus descended at 7:30, dressed in a suit likely worth more than my first car. Robert wants us there by 9:45. Derek and the realtor are scheduled for 10. Sophia appeared, exuding power in a tailored dress with heels that could serve as weapons and a leather portfolio tucked under one arm. I have drafted a statement, she said, in case Derek attempts to claim you are being coerced or manipulated. Robert has reviewed it. It is airtight. You all accomplished this overnight? I asked. We have been planning this for a week, Marcus admitted. Ever since Robert informed us of what was occurring, we simply had to wait for you to agree. The drive to my old house felt surreal. We took 2 cars, with Marcus driving in his Tesla and Sophia and James following in her Range Rover. Robert met us there at 9:40. Claire, he said, taking my hands, are you comfortable with this? More than comfortable. Good, because it will be intense. We entered my house, which, until the papers I signed yesterday were filed with the county, was still technically mine. It was strange to see it empty. Echoes where furniture had been, lighter patches on the walls where pictures had hung. You took everything, Marcus observed, surveying the space. Everything that mattered. Good, he added. Let him see what emptiness truly looks like. At 9:55, we heard a car pull up, followed by another, Derek's BMW and a Honda Civic adorned with a realtor's logo. Positions, Sophia instructed, as if we had rehearsed this. We had not, yet somehow we all knew where to stand. Marcus, Sophia, and James lined up by the fireplace, Robert slightly to the side, and me in the middle of the living room, standing tall. The door opened. Derek had a key. I had given it to him years ago for emergencies. He entered, talking and not looking around. We should be able to list by Friday if she doesn't delay. He paused mid-sentence, his gaze landing on us. His expression shifted through confusion, recognition, shock, and finally something akin to fear. Mom, he said, what is happening? Why is the house empty? The realtor, a middle-aged woman with an overly enthusiastic smile, glanced around nervously. Hello, Derek, I said calmly. Where is your furniture? Did you already move it to storage? I informed you we needed to stage the house. I moved it, I stated, to my new home. What new home? Marcus stepped forward. The one we arranged for her. Derek focused on him, truly observing him for the first time. Who the hell are you people? That is when I sensed it. The moment when everything shifts, when power changes hands. If you are watching this, I urge you to subscribe right now, as what unfolds next will demonstrate precisely what occurs when individuals underestimate the power of real family. Derek, I said quietly, these are your brothers and your sister. His face went blank. I do not have brothers or sisters. You did, I replied. You simply never took the time to know them. Marcus extended his hand. Marcus Thompson, I lived with your family from 1994 to 1998. You were in college for most of that time. Derek did not take his hand. The foster kids? You are the foster kids? That is correct, Sophia said coolly. I am Sophia Chen. I was here from 1995 to 2000. James Rodriguez, James added, 1993 to 1998. The realtor cleared her throat. Mr. Holloway, I am confused. I thought we were here to list your mother's property. You are, Derek said, regaining his composure. Mom, this is absurd. These people cannot just... These people, Robert interrupted, are Mrs. Holloway's family, and they have provided her with alternative accommodations. I am Robert Chen, Mrs. Holloway's attorney. Derek's eyes narrowed. Mom, what is going on? Did they pressure you into this? Are they trying to get your money? I nearly laughed. Derek, they possess more wealth than I could ever imagine. They do not need mine. Much more, Marcus asserted, his tone sharp. My net worth is approximately $850 million. Sophia's firm bills $40 million annually. James owns 16 restaurants and 3 food production companies. Derek's mouth opened and closed repeatedly. So, when you thought you could sell our mother's house out from under her to fund assisted living that she does not require, Sophia continued, you made a critical miscalculation. You assumed she was alone, James added. The realtor retreated toward the door. I believe I should. This appears to be a family matter. Stay, Derek commanded her. Then, turning to me, he pleaded, Mom, this house is valued at over $1 million. You require that money for your care. I do not need care, I replied. I need respect. I need a son who views me as a person, not an asset. I am trying to help you, he insisted. No, Marcus said firmly. You are attempting to help yourself. Claire showed us the numbers. That assisted living facility you selected? $6,000 a month. Her house would fund it for maybe 15 years if you're fortunate. Coincidentally, $6,000 a month is also approximately your current mortgage payment on that new house you purchased. Derek's face flushed red. How do you know? Public records, Sophia explained. I am an architect. I know how to conduct research. So let me guess, James interjected, stepping forward. The plan was to sell Claire's house, use some of the money to place her somewhere cheap while convincing yourself it was nice, and pocket the remainder to settle your debts. That is absurd. Is it? Robert pulled out a document. Because I have your credit report here, Derek. You are heavily leveraged. That BMW is leased, the house is underwater, and you have 3 maxed out credit cards. Derek glanced at me, and for the first time I saw panic in his eyes. Mom, do not listen to them. I am your son. And they are my children too, I said softly. The difference is they act like it. The silence in that empty house was deafening. Derek remained there, his realtor shifting uncomfortably beside him, confronting the reality of what he had attempted to do. You cannot do this, he finally said, though his voice lacked conviction. I am your only family. You were never her only family, Marcus replied. You merely behaved as if you were. Sophia opened her portfolio. Let me clarify what is actually happening, Derek. Your mother has signed over the deed to this house, not to us. She is donating it to a nonprofit that provides transitional housing for domestic violence survivors. It will become a safe house, I explained. A place where women escaping dangerous situations can rebuild their lives. This home provided safety to Marcus, Sophia, and James. Now it will continue to offer safety. You cannot simply give away $1 million property, Derek protested, his voice rising. She absolutely can, Robert interjected. It is her property. She is of sound mind, which I can document thoroughly, and the tax deduction will be significant. As for her living situation, James continued, she has relocated to our home in Granite Bay, 6,000 square feet, fully paid off, with a private suite that is hers for life. We have also established a trust, Marcus added, which provides Claire with a monthly stipend of $8,000 for personal expenses, healthcare, entertainment, travel, whatever she desires. Derek's face shifted from red to white. $8,000 a month? We can afford it, Sophia stated simply. What we cannot afford is to allow someone to treat our mother like a burden. Our mother, Derek repeated bitterly. She is my mother. Then act like her son, I said, my voice steady. Derek, I loved you from the moment you were born. I gave you everything I had. I financed your college education. I assisted with your first house down payment. I babysat your children every weekend for 3 years. Mom, I never asked for anything in return, he replied. But I also never expected you to view me as a problem to be solved, as if I were inventory to be liquidated. His jaw worked, but no words emerged. You have a choice now, Marcus said. You can accept that your mother has family who loves her and will protect her, or you can walk away. But what you cannot do is manipulate her, control her, or treat her as less than she is. The realtor cleared her throat. Mr. Holloway, I believe we are finished here. Derek looked at me one last time. Mom, please, I made a mistake. I need to talk to you. Sophia observed me staring at the phone. You do not owe him anything. He is still my son. Then let him earn his way back, Marcus said gently. If he is truly remorseful, he will demonstrate it, not with words, but with actions. I contemplated that, how Marcus had proven his love by establishing a successful life and naming his daughter after me, how Sophia had proven hers by dropping everything to protect me, how James had shown his by creating a restaurant that embodied everything I had tried to teach him about welcoming others. You are right, I concluded. 2 weeks later, the nonprofit assumed possession of my former home. They invited me to the ribbon-cutting ceremony. The first family moved in 3 days thereafter. A woman named Patricia with 2 children, escaping a husband who had hospitalized her twice. I brought them groceries and assisted them in settling in, reflecting on how life has a way of coming full circle. Derek sent flowers for my birthday a month later. I sent a thank you note, short, polite, and distant. He had a long road ahead. Yet I awaken every morning in a beautiful house, surrounded by people who chose to love me. I garden, volunteer at the clinic, and watch little Claire every Tuesday while Marcus and Patricia enjoy their date night. At 72 years old, I have learned that sometimes the family who finds you is stronger than the family into which you were born. My son perceived me as a burden, but my true children viewed me as a blessing. Kindly subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video with love and respect.